Hey there everybody, today we're on our way to Cadaqués, which is on the coast of Brava, and it's supposed to be this amazing beachside city.
All the photos look ridiculously stunning.
So to get out here we took the train from Girona to Vilajuiga. The route we're taking, I hope it goes through. There wasn't a lot of intel from here to Cadaqués, but basically I'm trying to hook up some farm roads to some gravel roads and avoid pretty much all the pavement to get into Cadaqués. Are you ready?
I hope so.
Okay, let's get going. Original plan was to take the train to Figueres. Multiple people told us to skip it as a stop and go past it to the next smaller town. So that's what we did. Supposedly to cut down on some crappy riding and get to the good stuff a little bit faster. So it looks like we're gonna actually be on the Pyrenees route for a little bit of the way. First few miles should be rolling to flat until we get to the big hills that kind of surround Cadaqués. Not bad, right? Okay, so pretty fast and cruisy flatland. Just got our first glimpse of the Mediterranean, which is pretty cool. These mountains off to the left of me totally remind me of the stuff around Santa Barbara. Very similar. So back on the Grav, a couple miles of pavement. Wasn't too bad. What do you think?
It wasn't bad. There was a wide shoulder, not a lot of cars, and they went around.
So we're on this stretch of dirt until we get to Roses, and then we do some climbing up and over these mountains that we've been staring at for the last hour or so. So we're in the town of Roses. Quick donut and coffee stop. How was it?
It is totally unlike donuts in the States. It's like super fluffy and airy inside.
I've never had a espresso bar. Very cute. Okay, so we got our coffee at Roses, leaving town, and pretty much straight uphill from here, I think. This should bring us into the mountains, and at some point I think we hit a little port, and then this turns into gravel. Look at those mountains, holy smokes. Seems like half the town's just like carved into the hillside. So finally our first decent glimpse at the Mediterranean. Hola. So from what I understand, we're riding into kind of a natural preserve area, and at some point we hop on a BTT route, or mountain bike route, Grav all the way to Cadaqués. Some more sea vibes on the right. It's so picturesque. You've got like these terraced vineyards, these gravel roads, and then the Med.
Just a lot of gorgeousness. It's like all those picture postcards brought to life right there.
Traffic's been pretty chill, but there's this weird monstrosity of a train/truck thing that's coming up here.
I think it must be some sort of like take the tourists to the beach vehicle.
Right. We thought we'd let it pass. What do you think of that descent?
That descent was amazing and crazy and beautiful, and the scenery was ridiculous. And
Nice. This is pretty sweet. I've actually never been to the Mediterranean in person before, so pretty cool. So for lunch, we've got some Iberico sausage, some bread from Costa.
And the most important part.
Yes. Some ositos de oro. Now to start climbing. I believe we should be on dirt pretty much right away, and pretty significant climb. I think at least 1,000 feet, broken up in 2 humps, and then down into Cadaqués. This is pretty bonkers. I love all these like little coves that these sailboats have tucked into. A little bumpy. Look at that road. So on to our last climb of the day, then we should cruise into Cadaqués. This road looks like it's close to cars. See?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's how Europe says no cars.
No cars. It definitely gets a little bit rougher. Like that stuff, you know, you could drive a lowered Civic through. This should get interesting. Okay. It's like a little gate here to traverse. Okay, so I think we've got like 4 or 5 miles into town. So that means this climb should be at least 2 miles long. So in the rock crawling gears. So 600 feet in 2 miles is what we're looking at. It's not too bad. This stuff here is really reminiscent of the Los Padres for me, or the stuff we climbed around Santa Barbara. So you can see where we descended down there and then climb back up this squiggly road. This is really nice. Definitely no cars here, and the view is just like stunning. This should be our summit, and then we have a glorious dirt descent into Cadaqués, hopefully. What do you think of the climb?
Oh my gosh.
Top 10?
Definitely. Definitely one of the best stretches of roads I think we've ever ridden on. It was incredible.
Grade wasn't too bad.
No, it wasn't. It was exceedingly rideable.
Yeah.
It was rocky, but yeah, I mean, just spin and just look out in awe of the view, and then you forget that you're climbing, really. So
yeah,
gorgeous.
Sweet, and so good. So I think we're gonna roll into town. I'm gonna film the descent, and the next order of business would be to find some food and then check in to our bungalow. So we're roughing it.
Roughing it, totally.
Bike packing, glamping.
Glam packing?
Glam packing. There you go. Are you ready for some down country? What? Down country, that's what it's called now. Yeah. Oh, think one of the coolest things about this descent is that it's so serpentine, and around each corner, like the whitewashed city just gets a little bit bigger. You get this really dramatic approach into it. It's okay?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Bananas. Okay, so after that just absolutely stunning descent, bam! You're by the sea, you're by these whitewashed buildings. What is this place? I think this is the hardest part of the ride today. Okay, so we've arrived to the digs. Do you want to give the tour?
Sure, sure. Well, we managed to find this lovely, way up on the hill, hotel with our own private bungalow.
Off-season pricing.
Yes, exactly. So it's a super cute. We splashed out for the fancy bungalow because it was the same price as the regular bungalow. Living area, kitchen, nice little terrace.
Coffee outside, not bad.
Living room, televisión, tenemos, baño, bedroom, another little terrace.
All right, well, we covered a lot today. I think we're just gonna take a shower, get some dinner, and continue adventures tomorrow. We're going to a place called Cap de Creus, which when we told many people in Girona that we were coming out here, they said, you have to go. It's like the spot where Dolly had so much inspiration. Also, there's supposed to be a couple of cafes out there, like right at the edge. So we reserved one for lunch, and should be cool. So, see you then.
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. So this morning we had an awesome breakfast on our terrace, and today we're going to Cap de Creus, which is
a lighthouse and the easternmost point of the Spanish continent.
From what we've heard, or from what we've been told, if you come to this area, you have to go to the lighthouse. Supposedly a kind of a unreal landscape, very Martian is how it's been described to us, and also a source of inspiration for Salvador Dali.
Sounds good to me.
All right, let's do it. Still can't get over how narrow these roads are. Feels like a set of a James Bond movie or something, right?
Very much so. Past this magical point where there was a person in an orange vest stopping cars, waving us through. So this must be the no car part.
It does get a little steep on the way in. It looks really volcanic out here. Love this little notch that's been cut into the hill here. Wow. Whoa. So what is this place?
So this is part of the natural park. It's apparently, it's called El Paraje de Tudela. Formed by wind and the sea and salt air. There's apparently a bunch of like really interesting and unique rock outcroppings that were sources of inspiration to Dali. There are also plant life and birds and other critters that exist only here.
It's kind of like walking through a natural sculpture garden. All right, so this keeps going, you believe, for about 4K. You can see the path winds over there in between that valley of rocks. I don't think we're gonna have time to do the whole thing because we have lunch reservations at the lighthouse. But pretty cool to check out. Are you ready for lunch?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's gorgeous here.
Yeah.
One might even call it surreal.
Okay, so over there in the distance is the lighthouse. Looks like we have to go down a bit more and then climb back up. Woo. Last part here, a little steep. Feels like we're storming a castle. Oh, yeah. Made it! Yay! Wow, look at this view. Holy smokes.
Well, I definitely understand why everybody was like, you gotta go.
So what's the starter here?
So we have tortilla de patatas, potato y pano tomate.
All right, what do we get here?
Fish.
It's a sea bass. Over a bed of potatoes. So, again.
Looks fantastic.
It's pretty yummy. It's like this really kind of delicate sea flavor, maybe like a touch of lemon and pepper. What do you think?
I like it. It's good.
Super fresh. Little coffees to top it off. Cheers. All right, just wrapped up lunch. Awesome little spot. Gotta love that there's a bike rack here. Do keep in mind that lunch is like a thing here.
It's kind of a madhouse.
It's equivalent of dinner, and it takes quite a while to get in and out, so you gotta budget the time. It's like you're in it for the long haul. So I think I'm actually gonna end this portion of the video here because I'm stuffed and about to pass out. So yeah, so I think we'll continue the video tomorrow, and hopefully our route goes through because there isn't a whole lot of information about it, but we'll see you then. Okay, so we just picked up some snacks and we are leaving Cadaqués. Are you sad to see it go?
Yes, in a way. There's a lot of people here, but it's a beautiful place. So, but I'm also really excited to see where this mysterious route takes us.
Yeah, speaking of mysterious routes, I had a route planned, but we scrapped it last minute because we weren't sure if it was going to go through. And then you saw a map about different BTT routes, but then we couldn't find information. So now we're using trail forks to get down.
We did manage to find it on Google Satellite, so you can actually see it and follow it. So it appears to go through.
There might be some shenanigans. So what's weird is that this route shows up as a green trail on trail forks, even though it's a paved road. Okay, so the road does turn into, whoa, Kinderkoppen. This might be interesting.
All right, so we went from pavement to like super chunky river bottom rock to like straight up. Hey buddy,
Got a very vocal burro over here. Hi. Okay, straight away into some climbing. Kind of chunky, sandy 2-track. I think we're supposed to climb almost 1,000 feet in less than 2 miles. So, fun. Okay, so walking a little, we had some 20% loose dirt and sand. What's interesting is this landscape is both like different but also oddly familiar. Like to me this feels a lot like the Verdugo Mountains or parts of the Los Padres in California. Oh, but chunkier. Whew, steep. So there's the Cadaqués in the Mediterranean. Here's some punchy climbs. We're hitting almost 20% with each like little uptick. If you guys ever wondered why I love low gearing, it's because of stuff like this. Adventure bikes that ship with a 40-tooth chain ring and don't go below 1:1 is just bullshit. Okay, so we're off the dirt. We crossed the highway down there, and a little bit more climbing, and then kind of a generally trending descent into Puerto de la Selva. Oh yeah, there you go. So we've been doing some climbing, big surprise. But look, get to see the Mediterranean once again. Puerto de la Selva is somewhere over there. And we might even get a chance to go downhill.
You promise?
I don't, no promises. Wow. Okay, so we're at a crossroads here, literally. And this is where things kind of fall apart on trail forks. We could go this way. This seems like this should go to Puerto de Selva, but the line disappears on trail forks and it may or may not turn into a footpath. Or we go backwards a little bit and this should loop back around.
What's been confusing is that there is this numbered BTT route, number 13, but then the signs have been sort of existing, pointing us in the right direction, but they just stopped, so.
Yeah. So although this seems counterintuitive, we might do this to avoid the possibility of having to do some hiking. We're cruising out of Puerto de la Selva. It definitely has off-season vibes. It's been like super quiet, not much traffic. It's a good spot for a coffee stop. There should be a trail for the rest of the way into Yan Sha. Let's see if we can find it. This is nice, super chill. A little bumpy every time it does that, but pavement to bring it home. Yay, made it to the train station. So we made it to the train station. We're waiting for our ride back to Girona, but this trip was pretty amazing. I mean, for something that had relatively short mileage, only 3 days, I feel like you saw a lot of everything. You got to do some push biking, some epic descents, I don't know, varied terrain.
Cactus, sea vibes, lots of yeah, olive trees and old rock walls.
Yeah, you go from like super rugged stuff to, you know, kind of like a James Bond film-like setting from not very far from Girona. I don't know, do you think this would make a good beginner bikepacking trip, or a little much?
What makes it a great beginner route is just that it's, the miles are short, there's lots of services, you can stay inside, so you don't really need to bring stuff. Just have a decent mapping something.
Yeah. Yeah, there are definitely tricky things with the navigation, which I think we might get into in a different video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this mini adventure in Catalonia. We've got a couple more days here, so hoping to film a few more things. Please consider supporting the channel by joining us on Patreon, and as always, keep the supple side down.